Burnout isn't depression, and awareness isn't a trend. Welcome back to our channel, where we bring you stories that matter. We've all scrolled through our feeds, seen yet another "Why am I still single?" post and thought, "Oh, come on girl, you're beautiful. Just boost that self-esteem." But it's not always easy. We get it. That's why today we're diving into a story that hits close to home, even though it might sound a bit relatable. It's a story about a girl named Yumna who was drowning in a sea of negative posts and questions, losing herself in the endless scroll feed of social media. Yumna was like any other girl her age. If you took her phone away, she'd probably feel lost. Between TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, she spent hours upon hours in the virtual world. One day, her friends noticed a shift in her social media posts. Instead of those usual dance videos and selfies, they saw something different. For example, she started sharing posts like these: "Life is hard, and no one understands me," or "I don't know why I'm not as happy as other girls," and "Everything around me feels like fog," along with a black cloud emoji. Her mom also noticed the change. She saw her daughter become irritable and isolating herself in her room, saying things like, "Mom, I'm depressed," without really knowing what that meant. So how did this story unfold? What did Yumna's friends and family do when they saw these posts? And most importantly, how did she find her way back to reality? Let's find out together. Friends between mockery and concern. When Sarah first saw Yumna's post, she couldn't help but laugh. "Are you kidding me? Are you seriously trying to tell me you're depressed? You've got more followers than most influencers, and you're sad?" "Please," she said, throwing her head back and laughing. "I guess some people would kill for your problems. You're lucky to have mine. I wish I could trade places with you for a day. I need to study for an exam tomorrow. You don't have to do anything. You're literally free. How can you call that depressing?" Noor, on the other hand, took a different approach. She pulled Yumna aside during recess and said, "I've heard a lot about this whole situation. Look, I'm not a professional, so don't take my advice, but maybe you're just stressed from studying too much. Why don't you take a break and hang out with us on Saturday? We'll go shopping and you can cheer up." But Yumna shook her head, insisting that she was struggling with something deeper. "I know what I'm going through. No one else gets it," she replied, her eyes downcast. The shock. Self-diagnosis. Online, Yumna went straight to Google. Symptoms of depression in girls. The results were long lists. She checked off every symptom she had ever experienced. For example, sometimes she felt bored. She wanted to sleep a lot, which was probably because she stayed up late scrolling through social media. And she felt anxious before exams. All of these seemed like signs of clinical depression. So what happened next? How did her friends and family react to her search results? Did they support her or dismiss her concerns? To find out what came next in this story, stay tuned by clicking the subscribe button below. Don't miss out on the next part of Yumna's journey, a session with Dr. Sarah. During the school's open day, Yumna decided to visit Dr. Sarah. She was a 30-year-old psychologist who wore trendy clothes and referenced social media in her sessions. Maybe she'd understand. As soon as Yumna sat down, she blurted out, "Doctor, do I have depression?" Dr. Sarah burst out laughing. "If every girl like you had depression, I'd be working 24/7, she said. "Come on, let's talk about this. Tell me what's bothering you." Yumna hesitated, then explained what she had been going through. She showed Dr. Sarah the post she had made and the results she had seen on Google. Dr. Sarah listened patiently, then spoke in a calm, reassuring voice. "What you're describing sounds tough, but it doesn't sound like clinical depression. Clinical depression is when someone loses interest in almost everything for weeks. They experience physical symptoms, like trouble sleeping or eating, and it affects their daily life. She continued, "You mentioned feeling bored, which is normal. Everyone feels bored sometimes. As for studying, it's totally normal to feel nervous before exams. I get it too. Everyone has ups and downs in their emotions. Social media makes us think every bad feeling is depression, but it's not true." Yumna nodded slowly. She knew Dr. Sarah was right, but she still couldn't shake off the feeling that she wasn't like other girls. "What if I'm not like other girls?" she asked hesitantly. Dr. Sarah smiled and said, "That's the cool thing about being human, Yumna. No one is exactly alike. We're all unique, and that's what makes us special. It's okay to feel different, but if you're unhappy, you should focus on making yourself happy, rather than comparing yourself to others." The digital rescue plan. Yumna realized that what Dr. Sarah said was correct. She had to improve herself, instead of wallowing in self-pity. But how could she do that? She pondered for a moment. Then she had a flash of insight. She knew exactly what to do. First, she deleted all the toxic accounts that made her feel worse. Say goodbye to those lost girls pages and depression is a trend accounts. Next, she started following educational and fun content. There were channels that explained psychology simply, apps for self-growth and confidence building, and even positive notification sounds. Now her phone alerts were like, "You're stronger than any negative post," or "Take a breath, today will be better." Family's role. Yumna's mom was initially upset about Yumna's gloomy posts. However, when she saw her daughter deleting those accounts, she understood that Yumna was taking charge of her own life. Instead of criticizing her, she started sharing funny Snapchat videos with her. Meanwhile, Yumna's dad took her out for weekly outings. No phones allowed. They spent time at old-school board game cafes, where Yumna could laugh and enjoy the moment without her phone. Her dad was secretly proud of her for facing her problems, like a real-life warrior. The ending. Yumna becomes the positive influencer. 3 months flew by, and Yumna's transformation was remarkable. She was back to posting, but this time it was different. Instead of those despair-filled posts, her page now had self-development videos and infographics about the difference between depression and burnout. She even designed those infographics on Canva. Her friends were surprised. "How did you get better?" they asked. Yumna would just smile and reply, "I needed to understand, not just repeat." So what's the lesson here? Here are a few takeaways from Yumna's story. Don't self-diagnose from reels or tweets. Use social media as a tool for growth, not destruction. Family and friends can be your support system if you open up to them. And hey, if you liked the story, don't forget to share it with your squad. As always, thanks for watching and see you in the next one.